reflecting our life, it has been said that every child is a gift to the family. We were once a child, therefore each person is a gift from God. And if we think of the greatest gift that God has given to us, nothing else but life. But the challenge or the question for this, how do we treasure this life? Knowing that each person, each life that is given to us is a gift, how do we treasure? How do we give meaning this life? Are we doing to please God? Or are we just entertaining just for ourselves? Are we doing things to give favor to God? Or we are responding these things of what the world is offering to us? Life is always a discernment to choose what belongs to God and what belongs to this world. Well, talking about life, there was this couple, a friend of mine, when I was assigned in Davao City. She approached me, the wife approached me and said, "Father, it's been 5 years in married life and still we don't have child." I just simply advised to this woman, why not visit the Birhen ng Simala in Cebu? So, what is all about? No, just offer your intentions there. Ask something to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Who knows? Silently or in secret, the couple went to that place, Birhen ng Simala. Couple of months, they approached me together with his husband, and they said, "Father, I'm pregnant for 3 months." Well, how do we look at this scenario or the events of our life? Sometimes we don't trust God. We are impatient how God works in our life. But how do we trust the will of God? We have less belief what God can do to us. Sometimes we do underestimate what God can do to our lives. Like for example, we ask of something, but we've been praying for many years. Until now, it seems that God is not listening. And we think of, is there really God? Bakit hindi niya ito binibigay? Like for example, a very intelligent president of the school, 5 times taking the bar exam, he failed. And this batchmate in my college, he took the bar exam after 3 takes. And recently he said, "Father, thank you for the prayer. I got the bar exam." 3 of them. "Father, can you bless my pencil? Because I'm going to take the nursing exam." Yesterday, 2 days ago, Father, I was the one who asked for a blessing. I am now a registered nurse. So, well, sometimes God works in a mysterious ways. And sometimes we are underestimating what God can do to our lives. And we are impatient of how God can answer to our prayers. All our prayers are heard by God. Pero hindi lahat ng panalangin ay dinidinig ng Diyos because God has the best plan for each one of us. We might think, this is not my best plan, but God has the best plan for us. Now, the gospel illustrated as the announcement of an angel Gabriel about the good news to Zechariah and Elizabeth. Looking into the background of this couple, where somehow they were childless, but they never stopped praying to have a child. The life of Elizabeth, She was advanced in years, let's say 75 years old or more than. They were hopeless, but they never stopped praying to God. That's why when the angel, the messenger of God, nagpakita kang, at sino to, si Zechariah. Of course, if we are going to put ourselves in the shoes of Zechariah, hindi tayo maniniwala. 75 years old, magbubuntis. Wow. It's not easy. And me too, I am advanced in years. How can this be? So there was a punishment of the disbelief of Zechariah. But there is a power beyond that disbelief of Zechariah. We are now in the fourth Simbang Gabi or Misa de Gallo. Let me share to you 3 points how God works in our life. For He works in a mysterious ways beyond our expectation. The first point is the importance of faith in God's promises. We know that Zechariah and Elizabeth were righteous people or couple and faithful servant of God. May dumating sa kanilang punto na their faith was tested or were tested. Yet, ganun din sa atin, no? Manghihina din tayo minsan. Dahil parang mabagal ang galaw ng Diyos sa ating buhay. But the thing is, God's time is different from our time. Like what we have today, we want instant. Pipindot ka lang, lalabas na yung pera. And even our foods, instant foods. We want mabilisan. We want everything to be instant. But in the eyes of God, before God, we have to develop this virtue of being patient all the time. Because God works in a mysterious ways. And let us not underestimate what God can do to us. So this does not guarantee that if we are a prayerful person, if we have the faith of God, this does not guarantee or a good reminder for us that faith is a process. Hayaan natin ang Diyos to entrust everything to God. Because having faith doesn't mean there is an immediate answer. Matuto tayong magparaya, matuto tayong maghintay. Because God is telling us He has a best plan for us. The second point for us to reflect is the role of prayer in our lives. Yes, we do. We know how to pray. And prayer provides the backbone of our relationship to God. For those people who cannot establish prayer, somehow we look at that people, it's okay. As I have said, it provides the backbone of our relationship to God. If this backbone will collapse, what will happen to the person? He became paralyzed. And so with our life, our relationship with God, our constant prayer is the only thing that connects ourselves to God. And this is what Zechariah did during this time. He never stopped praying to God, hoping to have a child. When he received the angel's message, somehow merong saya na nagdududa siya. Now, what is the implication this in our life? Sometimes we don't get answer from God, but we need not to give up to pray because God's will is different from our will. Only we have to do is entrust everything to God for the best of this life. The third point to reflect is the intervention of God. Well, every day God is working into our lives. God is working the best in us. During the time of Zechariah, he was in doubt with the message of an angel. Hindi niya nalalaman na gumagalaw ang Diyos. Pero minsan, he was blocked of the makamundong bagay. The same thing for all of us. Instead na kapag tayo ay sinusubukan, humaharap ng mga iba't ibang pagsubok sa buhay, instead na lalapit tayo sa Diyos, we depend much of ourselves. The implication for this in our life that we have to change this kind of attitude. The more we need God, because God has the purpose in our life to fulfill our dreams, our mga kahilingan sa buhay. So this is the message for us today. I know you have different wishes of the Simbang Gabi. Meron kayong mga kanya-kanyang kahilingan, but only we have to do is never give up your prayer, entrust everything to God, and believe in your prayer. All our prayers are heard by God, but God will answer the best in us, and that is a blessing. Amen.